Good afternoon. On behalf of the John Thomson Memorial Committee, I'd like to welcome you all to Bowhill, Cardenden, and in particular the resting place of John Thomson, the Celtic and Scotland goalkeeper who tragically died aged just 22 years of age. John died playing the game he loved for the club he loved. As you'll no doubt know, John lost his life following a tragic accident at Ibrox in September 1931. To this day he is remembered as a hero to admirers the world over. Such was the outpouring of grief when Thomson died that over 30,000 mourners attended his funeral. This cemetery and all the streets which surround us just now were crammed full of people who had come to pay their respects to the player dubbed the Prince of Goalkeepers. Many mourners had travelled long distances to attend the funeral. Many Celtic fans had actually walked all the way from Glasgow, some in barefoot because they had no shoes or boots and they couldn't afford the train fare to Cardenden. Some slept overnight in makeshift tents on the hills just a few hundred yards behind this cemetery wall. Representatives of all the senior clubs in the UK were present to pay their respects. But it was back in 1926 that John first came to prominence. Steve Callaghan, Celtic's chief scout, seen Thomson's star for local side Wellesley Juniors. Callaghan was so sure that the young keeper who could jump like a cat would make a name for himself that Callaghan convinced legendary Celtic manager Willie Maley that the young keeper should be signed that same evening. Although John was quiet, he was supremely confident in his own ability. He was only 18 years old when he made his debut for Celtic, and following a rare mistake during that first game, John's response was typical. "Don't worry, sir. I've been taught not to make the same mistake twice. I'll be fine for next week," he said. Almost immediately, John Thomson made an impression on our support with his skill, agility, brilliant, dedicated and determined performances. He was fearless when it came to protecting his goal, to the point where he's still honoured by generations who have never seen him play. In the 4 years that he represented Celtic, John made 211 first-team appearances for the club. In an era where goalkeepers had little protection from referees, unlike the modern-day equivalent, Thomson showed a complete lack of fear and unfaltering bravery. He showed supreme dedication to the art of goalkeeping, and it made him a wonderful role model, not just then, but also now. In all club competitions, John had a shutout rate of 34%, impressive considering Celtic were a team in much transition at the time. It is said that during a match, his eyes would never leave the ball, and he would regularly seek out more experienced goalkeepers and ask their advice. He quickly became involved in the Scotland team, making his international debut before his 20th birthday. John was never dropped by club or country. Quite simply, if he was fit, he played. This is a remarkable achievement for such a young keeper. During his short playing career, John Thomson won 2 Scottish Cups and 3 Glasgow Cups with Celtic, and won 4 caps for the Scottish League, as well as 4 full international caps. It's not just Celtic Football Club that is celebrating an anniversary this year. Our own Memorial Committee are celebrating 30 years. The John Thomson Memorial Committee was founded in 1983 by Alec Burns here to promote the memory of John Thomson in his hometown of Cardenden. The Memorial Committee were instrumental in the successful campaign to have John included in the Scottish Football Hall of Fame. This year we will see the 5,000th child take part in the annual primary school football tournament, which is played in John's memory. The tournament is open to all boys and girls, irrespective of background or ability. We encourage the youngsters to participate in sport as part of a healthy lifestyle and to encourage them to play football as John Thomson did, to demonstrate a sense of fair play, sportsmanship and to treat others as they like to be treated themselves. Throughout his career, John Thomson showed maturity beyond his years, and we can only speculate on how many honours he would have won had he been fortunate enough to have a full career in the game. As Neil continues to coach and develop you all into becoming Celtic legends, you can learn a lot from John Thomson, the Prince of Goalkeepers, a wonderfully gifted talent, a brave footballer and an exceptional role model who played the game the Glasgow Celtic way.
Boys. John Thomson's a huge part of the history of the club, and that is very important to us. The history, tradition, honour. Unfortunately, it's a tragic story. You know, he was at the prime of his life, doing what he loved, and unfortunately lost his life on the football field. It's very important that we acknowledge the people here who keep John's memory fresh, alive, never forgotten. You all want to make your own way in the game, and I feel there's not many better clubs to do that than here. And you can see, you know, just how much you're loved and how much the fans appreciate what you do. Even people turning up here to see you. It's very, very important that we acknowledge the supporters back. And to come here today, it's a great privilege. I've never been here before. I've heard so many stories about John myself, and you know, it's a beautiful tribute to him, and one that we should always acknowledge and never forget. I'd like to thank you for the invite here on behalf of the team and the backroom staff, and we hope to continue to do the memory of John really proud in the way the team plays and conducts itself on and off the field. So thank you for that as well. Thank you. Sure. Oh,